Before he died, Waku-san spent most of his time in here.
And when was he admitted?
2 years ago. With Alzheimer's.
Some kind of dementia, right?
Alzheimer's is a neurodegenerative disease that leads to dementia, yes. In fact, it's the cause of almost 70% of all dementia cases.
So, they're one and the same, kinda? Anyway, do what you gotta do, Yagami.
Hey. What the? Hey. Has anyone else slept here since Waku-san's death?
Nobody, no.
And Waku-san was missing from his room the morning of the incident, yes?
That's right.
So, he was murdered here, then carried out.
I can't say for sure, but it's likely.
Hey, the window's sealed shut. There's no way Waku-san could have escaped through here. What the? All the rooms have windows like this, right? Seems like people would notice if something was going on in here.
Well, we only have so many employees in this ward. The halls stay fairly busy, but it's mostly dementia patients moving between appointments.
I see. I wonder how the room looks from the hallway.
You got all you need from here, yeah?
I think so. You can definitely see what's going on from out here. Shintani-sensei, can you lay on the bed for me?
I guess so. Care to join me, Terasawa-san? What do you got to lose? It was a joke.
So from this vantage point, you can't make out the person's face.
So, was this the colossal waste of time I knew it'd be?
Nope. I got something I'd only get from being here.
Does it matter? It's been days. Case is practically closed. Shinpei Okubo is guilty as hell.
Well, according to him, he's not.
Of course that's what he says. Consider the facts, though, man. You want to review the case?
Sure. Let's go over what we know so far.
Whatever you want. All right, here we go. Our victim was the patient staying in this room. Koichi Waku, male, age 66. At 8:30 a.m. on the morning of the crime, the nurses noticed he was missing from his bed. Given Waku's degenerative state, they assumed he was wandering around the hospital somewhere. But after being unable to track him down, hospital staff filed a missing persons report.
Right.
You know what a dementia patient's like, though. Hard to imagine they'd make it outside on their own. The only conclusion, then, was that somebody must have taken him out of the hospital. After inspecting all the cars that came in and out of the center, they were left with one possible suspect. A laundryman by the name of Shinpei Okubo. It didn't take much prodding for Okubo to confess burying Waku's body out in the mountains. And lo and behold, 3 months after Waku disappeared, the cops found his body rotting away right where Okubo said it'd be. Cause of death was most likely suffocation, but they still don't know for sure. Any objections to this so far,
Okubo-kun insists he didn't kill anyone. All he admits to is dumping the body.
Oh, sure. But come on, Yagami. Guy's got a history of assault, and it's on record. Roughed up his girlfriend. Accidentally broke her finger.
Right, but that was over 6 years ago. He was just a kid. Got drunk, made a huge mistake.
And what? It's okay for a kid to hit a woman?
Of course not. But that's not what he's on trial for.
True.
I don't condone what he did. But legally, committing one crime doesn't mean you're guilty of another.
Fine. But what about Okubo's shaky alibi? He said he left the center at 10 a.m. after grabbing the sheets from the general ward. Claimed Wakusan's corpse somehow got loaded into his truck. Who's gonna believe garbage like that?
If anyone should, it's his lawyers.
We're meeting with Okubo after this, right? You should just be honest with him. Tell him the case is unwinnable.
Are you two done here?
Yep. Can you show us the garage next? The one where Okubo-kun parked his truck. The service entrance, I think it was. That's the only other place we'll need to see today.
We'll need to take an elevator down there. Follow me.
I'm ready to go. Hey, Yagami. You're never gonna last if you keep taking cases like this. Criminal suits are a constant test of your conviction. Your sense of justice. They don't even pay that well.
Careful who you say that around.
Look, just chill out, okay? Take it from me. I've been around the block way longer than you have. Looks like a regular old garage to me.
You'd make it out with no problem if you put a body into your truck down here. It's quiet.
It is.
Hey, Yagami, check this out. These are the carts they use to collect sheets and linens. Day of the crime, Okubo was all over the hospital with one of these things. Would have been simple for him to sneak a body in there and cart it right out.
Maybe so. Where was Okubo parked on the day of the incident?
Oh, the truck was parked here, with the back facing the elevator. Here's a recreation of it.
I see.
DNA evidence from the victim was found in the flatbed of the truck. That's proof enough that the body was there. And when they confronted Okubo, he flat out admitted it.
When was Waku-san last seen?
Just before 8 a.m. on the day of the crime.
Yeah, 7:50 to be precise. An ADDC scientist that. He claims he saw him nice and cozy in his bed.
I see. Can we talk to this witness?
I tried to get an appointment, but they shut me down. Said they don't want us interfering with their research anymore.
They're not willing to make an exception this once?
This isn't an issue you want to push, Yagami. Worst case scenario, you get charged with witness intimidation.
All right. Anyway, the victim was last seen at 7:50.
That's right. Breakfast is at 8 o'clock, so the patients who can walk on their own gather in the break room. But on the day of his disappearance, 8:30 came and went with no sign of Waku-san.
You thought you'd find him quickly. Didn't exactly turn out that way.
Right.
Got that, Yagami? Here, let's go over some more details. What we know is, Waku was taken out of his room sometime between 7:50 when he was last seen, and 8:30 when everyone noticed he was gone. During that 40-minute span, somebody suffocated Waku and stuffed him into the laundry bin. Nobody suspected there was a body in the cart. And the only clear culprit was Okubo, the man in charge of the laundry. To further back this up, DNA evidence from Waku was found in Okubo's truck. And when the police questioned Okubo, he confessed to burying the body in the mountains of Okutama. 3 months after the crime, Waku's corpse was finally found. With me? This thing's airtight, Yagami. I know you're getting into this, but come on. Just give it up already. You don't have a chance.
Even though Okubo says he's innocent, I promised him we'd do everything we could.
Not my problem. You shouldn't make promises you can't keep.
Fine, then I'll do it alone. You don't have to be involved.
Even if I'm not, the loss will hurt Genda-sensei's reputation.
I'm sorry, but our client says he's innocent. I can't back down from this.
Fine. I'll be in the lobby.
If you like, I could take you to see Waku-san's room again.
You don't mind? That would be great. Waku-san was here until the morning of the incident. Then he just up and disappeared.
Are you finished?
Not yet. Just a little longer. The window's sealed shut. There's no way Waku-san could have escaped through here. I wonder how well you can see in here from the hallway.
Are you finished?
Yeah, I've seen what I need. Anything else you can share?
How long will Okubo-san's sentence be?
Huh?
If he's found guilty, that is.
Probably 10 years, maybe more. It's hard to say for sure.
And what if he confesses? Would they shorten his sentence?
Well, at the very least, it'd make a better impression than insisting he didn't do it.
But you're still going to push an innocent plea? Even though Okubo-san is the one who'll suffer for it?
If he's really not guilty, he won't have to. I'll win. But to be perfectly honest, this is my first criminal case.
What?
Civil cases have been a mixed bag for me, too. I've actually lost more than I've won.
Is that so?
Apparently, a smart lawyer would never even consider an innocent plea in this case. Guess it's a good thing that I'm not so smart then, because I honestly believe I can win. Terasawa-san, were you close to Okubo-kun?
I spoke to him pretty often, yes. I would see him around the ward all the time.
And what did you think of him? Did he seem like the kind of guy who'd do something like this?
I'm sorry. The director told us not to say too much.
Wait! If you know anything that can help, just get in touch, okay? I'll do whatever it takes to set Okubo-kun free. But I can't do it alone. Just give it some thought, Terasawa-san. Just now, we went to the ADDC. Thought I should have a look at things with my own eyes.
And? How did it go?
There's no chance you walk. You're practically a lost cause.
Hey!
Yagami-sensei, is that what you think?
It's like this, Okubo. You tell me you're innocent, and I'll fight to the end. I really have nothing to lose by helping you out.
It's just like I told you. Whoever did it is framing me.
On the day of the crime, you were in the general ward at the ADDC, yes? Starting at 8 a.m., you went around to each room and gathered the linens.
Yes. Nobody would dispute that.
And after that, you covered Waku-san's nose and mouth, suffocated him, and then carted him out in the laundry bin.
That's not true. Waku-san wasn't there when I went into his room. I didn't see him at all that day. You have to believe me.
And I do. So when you went down to leave the center at 10 a.m. after gathering the linens, you realized there was a body hidden in the truck.
Yes. That's what happened.
Then, after debating whether or not to report the body, you chose to hide it in the mountains.
I had a criminal assault on my record. I knew the police would have suspected me if I went to them.
Aren't you forgetting the bad blood you had with Waku-san?
Huh?
Bad blood? What are you talking about?
3 days before the murder, Waku-san claimed Okubo-kun here punched him and stole his wallet. They told me all about it at the center.
When did you even ask?
While you were busy chatting up Terasawa-chan. Even if I bitch about it, I'm still damn good at my job.
Well, Okubo-kun, did you take his wallet, or...?
Not quite. They call it delusion of theft. It's a symptom of dementia. You think something's been stolen from you, then blame the first person you see. Not the easiest thing to deal with, right? Someone accuses you of theft for no reason? Must have been a shock. So when Waku-san tried to hit you, you just about hit him back.
But I didn't hit him.
No. You murdered him.
I wouldn't kill a man over something like that.
Ah, I wish I could believe you, pal. Come on, Okubo-kun. You got a record of violence.
It wasn't me. I swear. Somebody set me up. Please, you have to believe me. Whoever did this is laughing at all of us right now.
Calm down.
Yagami-sensei, Do you believe me?
I do.
Okay. Then next time, come alone.
Fine. I can take a hint. You and Yagami-sensei can cuddle up all you want.
Hey, you know that nurse, Terasawa-san? Cute girl. It sounded like she was worried about you. Bet you'd have a chance with her once you get out of here.
I don't know. If you'll excuse me.
So Shintani just left you hanging, huh? He's gotta learn some damn patience.
Maybe so. But this is my case now. I can handle it myself.
Huh. Okay.
Yagami-san.
Hmm?
Have you seen Mafio lately?
Where's this coming from?
She's just not that great with men. I suggest you be more assertive.
Right. Okay.
You mean that friend of yours, Saori-kun? She's got Shintani all riled up. Said he'd have been nicer to you if he knew you had friends who looked like her. Jackass.
Hey, nothing's official yet, guys. Regardless, keep it on the down low, okay?
Yet? That word says more than you think. I'll keep my lips sealed.
Mafio-kun's a prosecutor, right? Isn't it kind of taboo for her to date a defense attorney?
Can we not do this?
Either way, guess the Okubo case comes first. We're pleading innocent, yeah?
That's the plan.
What is your plan here? This isn't gonna be an easy win.
Well, I'm working on that. There's one...
And what's that?
It's the hospital room the victim was staying in. This is the last place Walker-san was seen before he disappeared. The window doesn't open, so the only way out is through the door. No one saw him leave, though, even though there are always people in the halls. And the only one who entered the room was Okubo with his laundry cart.
Hey, I don't want to be a downer, but doesn't that point to Okubo being the killer?
Well, that's not my point, though. The evidence I showed you is...
That evidence won't win you the case.
What the hell's your problem?
Was that Shintani?
I think so.
Get back here!
That bastard. Oh, was eavesdropping on you.
What the hell?
I tried to stop him, but he pulled a stun gun on me.
Hey! Wait up! You won't get away! Ah! Hold up! You won't get away! Hold up! woman.
Help! Someone help me!
Aren't you Terasawa-san?
Let me go!
We got a groper out here? Scum of the earth!
Not on my watch, you son of a bitch!
Can all lawyers fight like that?
Did you really need to run away like that? I assume you came to see me.
There was something I wanted to talk to you about, yes. But I wasn't sure if I should. Then that pig-headed friend of yours started shouting, so I just lost it.
Okay, but did you have to tase him? Not that he didn't have it coming. Anyway, I'm listening if you want to talk. No matter what it is, I'll keep your secret. Anything you tell me will fall under client attorney privilege.
Well, you know the witness who last saw Waku-san? Said he saw him sleeping in his bed.
Uh-huh.
Well, that witness is a man by the name of Shono-san. He's one of the scientists at the ADDC. Not only that, but he's the director's right-hand man, too.
And this is him?
Yes. He's a very dedicated doctor, so the nurses have a lot of faith in him. But something felt off when I heard what he had to say about the incident.
And what's that?
I guess I'm just skeptical as to whether or not he actually saw Waku-san. I don't think he's intentionally deceiving us, but he may be mistaken somehow. And if I had to guess, I'd say the other nurses feel the same.
Still, why hasn't anyone mentioned this until now?
How could we? Nurses talking about a doctor behind his back? That's not something a nurse could do without consequences. And if it came to a courtroom testimony...
None of you would testify?
Maybe the other nurses wouldn't, but I would. I never really fit in over there anyway. Besides...
Yeah?
I think Okubo-san is innocent.
Oh, really? Sounds like I've finally got an ally on my team.
I'm currently employed as a researcher at the Advanced Drug Development Center. Part of our research consists of clinical tests we perform on patients in the general ward of the center. On the day of the crime, I was making my usual rounds through the ward.
And what time was that?
Around 7:50?
You're sure?
Yes, the patients eat breakfast at precisely 8 o'clock. I always head to the break room myself, right around then, too.
This break room, to be precise?
That's correct. Our more mobile patients walk there for breakfast instead of eating in their own rooms. Then, while the nurses help the patients eat, I ask about how they feel and how the medicine is treating them.
And on the day of Wakusan's disappearance, you passed by his room before going to the break room?
Yes.
And in that room, you saw Wakusan lying on the bed?
Yes.
Can you describe the situation to us as you remember it?
The door has a window, so you can see into the room from the hallway.
And this is the room you're referring to, yes?
That's correct. From where I was standing in the hallway, I could see Wakusan lying in bed. He was asleep, with a blanket covering most of his body.
And what time was that?
Around 7:50.
No further questions.
Yagami-sensei, why did you call her to the stand?
She actually asked to testify. Is that a problem?
Not really, no.
Terasawa-san, you were present for Shono-san's testimony just now, yes?
Yes.
And what is your opinion on that testimony?
For a scientist, I felt his wording was rather imprecise. And as a medical professional, I felt his actions were negligent.
Could I ask you to be a little more specific?
Our witness, Shono-san, claims he saw Waku-san sleeping in his bed during his morning rounds. However, there's no way he could have known that just by looking in from the hallway.
I have evidence supporting Terasawa-san's testimony. Take a look at this, if you would.
And this is?
Well, it's an important piece of evidence, but the truly vital part is what I'm going to show you next. Please look at this. It's a photograph of the victim's room as viewed from the hallway. In other words, this is what Shono-san would have seen when he checked in on Waku-san. The one who killed Waku-san is actually our witness, Shono-san.
Excuse me? What grounds do you have for that assertion?
Grounds? Grounds? Well...
Please. You know this is a court of law, don't you?
Sorry, let me start over. Our witness, Shono-san, claims he saw Waku-san sleeping in his bed during his morning rounds. However, I'm not convinced that's actually what happened. Please look at this. It's a photograph of the victim's room as viewed from the hallway. In other words, this is what Shono-san would have seen when he checked in on Waku-san. Shono-san was lying when he said he saw Waku-san in the bed.
Excuse me?
What he saw from the door was likely nothing more than a bulge of sheets. He couldn't have been able to identify it specifically as Waku-san. So to claim as much in his testimony seems like quite an exaggeration, don't you think?
But common sense would dictate otherwise, would it not? Who would be in the bed other than Waku-san?
The staff nurses are trained to always enter a room when checking in on a patient. In Waku-san's case, it's impossible to tell anything just by looking in from the hallway. There was actually one time a while back where we thought he was under the covers, only to find Waku-san eating in the break room a second later. And upon re-examining the room, we realized that we had mistaken a bunched-up pillow for Waku-san.
The witness makes an important distinction. The prosecution asserts that Shono-san's testimony is clear, that the victim was taken out of his room at some point between 7:50 and 8:30 in the morning. They claim that because of this time frame, the defendant must have smuggled Waku-san's body out in his laundry bin. But if Shono-san's testimony is invalid, as the defense asserts, we have to consider the possibility that Waku-san was taken in the middle of the night when nobody else was around. After which, the killer could have waited until the morning to plant the body in the defendant's truck. In other words, the defense establishes that there is reasonable doubt that Okubo-san is the killer, rendering the prosecution's central argument unsound. Your Honor, taking this new testimony into account, I'd like to call Shono-san back to the stand for cross-examination. Shono-san.
Yes?
I'll get right to the point. On the day of the crime, what did you see when you looked into Waku-san's room?
I saw Waku-san asleep in his bed, I think.
And did you get a clear look at his face?
I don't remember.
So it's possible that it could have been someone other than Waku-san in that bed. Or maybe even a pillow that you mistook to be Waku-san's body. Isn't that right?
Objection! The defense is leading the witness.
Sustained. Please rephrase the question.
Shono-san, can you say without a doubt that Waku-san was in that bed when you checked on it?
I don't think I can, no.
Then the defense rests. But I do have a quick remark for the prosecution.
Huh?
The charges against my client stem from your assertion that he's the only possible suspect, assuming the crime took place within the stated time frame. However, the defense has proven without a doubt that Shono-san's testimony is unreliable, establishing reasonable doubt for my client. I would suggest then that you withdraw the charges against my client. With such inconclusive evidence, you'll only be wasting the court's precious time.
The prosecution does not consider the witness's testimony inconclusive. His memory of the incident may be fuzzy, yes, but that doesn't change that he saw the victim.
So, your whole case is based on a fuzzy memory? This promising young man's future is at stake, and you're willing to throw that away on unreliable testimony?
Dr. Shono is a bright and diligent researcher. After watching his own grandmother develop, he vowed to create a drug that could cure the disease. After paying his own way through medical school, he went on to become the head researcher at the ADDC. Day after day, Dr. Shono visits his sick patients out of the kindness of his heart, leading to his valiant testimony here today. If you want to know whether I trust this man, then my answer is a resounding yes.
In other words, because he's such a great researcher, his testimony is infallible. His own admission that he's not sure is somehow overlooked? Is that the sum of it? Because from here, it sounds like you're putting your faith in Shono-san's title, not his testimony today.
The prosecution is not as easily swayed as you think. And you want to talk reputation? What of your client's history of domestic abuse? 6 years ago, the defendant broke his girlfriend's finger. The poor girl is still suffering from the effects. And the cause? A minor, drunken disagreement. Now, fast forward to what occurred a few days prior to the crime. Waku-san, suspecting the defendant of stealing his wallet, lashed out and punched the defendant in the face. Given the clearly violent nature of Okubo-san here, That alone would be motivation enough to murder the poor old...
Is something wrong, ma'am? Please remain seated while court is in session. Terasawa-san?
Okubo-san is not a violent person. And he hasn't even had a drink in over 6 years. Not a single drop since the incident.
My court will not stand for this commotion.
He didn't blame Waku-san at all. He knew that the outburst was just caused by his dementia. That it was all the sickness's fault. So there was no reason for him to resort to murder.
Terasawa-san, please.
Okubo-san really is an incredible, caring person.
Please leave this courtroom at once.
You're right that he may be hard to approach, but he's a kind soul, and he always keeps his promises. Okubo-san's not the only person in this courtroom who would be affected by a guilty verdict, either. As a matter of fact, it would break my heart. And even through it all, he wanted me to keep this a secret, not to tell anyone, not even his lawyer, that we were dating. Even though he knew he could have ended up in prison, making sure I was safe was the only thing in the world he cared about. That's just who he is! But when the prosecution has already decided he's a criminal, how could he possibly be given a fair trial?
Her little outburst wasn't technically admissible, but as the trial dragged on, it hung over the jury like a stone. And in the end, Shinpei Okubo was found not guilty. But only a month after his release, everything changed. The same girl who had so bravely proclaimed Okubo's innocence died by the man's own hand. Hi.
Something wrong?
No, it's nothing, Vice Minister.
But...
I haven't seen you in about 3 years, Kido-san. I see you're still the director.
You look familiar, but I can't quite place the name. I seem to recall you looking sharper.
I'm a detective based in Kamurocho now. The name's Yagami.
Ah, I remember now. You're the reason Terasawa-kun's no longer with us. Remember, Shono?
Okubo-san was unstoppable. If only my testimony had been better.
Shono-san, right?
Does it matter? What brings you here anyway?
I'm investigating a murder, and I'll need your cooperation with it. Just like old times.
Yes, I see. Yes. Thank you. It does seem we received a phone call from this Shintani-san you speak of.
Do you know who he was calling?
Dr. Shono.
The same Shono-san you were just with?
Yes. However, it's unclear as to what the point of the call was meant to be. Shono was away from his desk at the time, you see, and Shintani-san didn't leave a message.
You have no idea what he wanted to talk about?
None. Shono says he doesn't know a Shintani-san, and sees no reason why he would be calling.
Oh, really?
Look, Shono and I co-authored the research paper on AD9. We're quite well known, as it turns out. A Sometimes complete strangers pretend to be close friends or relatives in order to contact us. Perhaps Shintani-san fell into that category.
Have you heard of the mole murders taking place in Kamurocho, Dr. Kido? 3 Yakuza, each one with their eyes gouged out. It's a grisly business. Shintani was killed in the same way.
I've seen the news.
Can you think of anything tying the ADDC to those murders?
Huh? Look, just what are you implying? Look, I believe we're done here. There's nothing I can help you with.
Please stop! You can't!
Who are you?
Detective Kuroiwa, Kamuro Police, Organized Crime. One of your guests here has information related to the case I'm currently investigating. That would be you, Yagami. I'd like to speak to you as a material witness to the murder of the lawyer Masamichi Shintani.
Is that so?
The mole's latest victim was the lawyer, Shintani. The last call he made brings the case that ruined Yagami 3 years ago back to the surface. A patient was taken from a hospital and found buried in the mountains. Yagami defended the suspect, Shinpei Okubo, and got an acquittal. But 1 month later, he murdered his girlfriend Emi Terasawa with a kitchen knife and burned the remains.
I'd like to speak to you as a material witness to the murder of the lawyer Masamichi Shintani.
Is that so?
I'm Hoshino, an attorney at Genda Law Office. Officer, is this interview voluntary, or...?
It is.
It's your call, Yagami-san.
I think I'll pass.
Excuse me?
You have your answer, sir. You can go now.
You can make this easier if you come now. Next time, it won't be voluntary.
Your empty threats don't mean much to a lawyer.
Can you take this elsewhere? I really must be...
Too bad he's not a lawyer anymore, then. Your friend's nothing now. Just come along quietly. I'll come back with a warrant if I have to.
I'd like to see you try. Why do you suspect me anyway? I bet you don't even have a reason.
I can come up with a few good ones.
Enough! Get the hell out of my office.
You'll regret this, Yagami.
Kuroiwa-san.
You two, out.
Before we go, can we speak to Shono-san for a sec? We need to know why Shintani called him.
Listen, I already told you he doesn't know. Get it through your skull. Now, please leave.
No problem. We'll let you get back to work.
This is really getting out of hand, don't you think? I can't believe that detective thinks you're a material witness.
Yeah. I don't know what he's talking about. But what I'm more interested in is how he even knew where to find me.
That's a good point. How would the police know we were here?
Beats me. For now, let's focus on Shono, though. It would be a waste coming here and not talking to him.
Agreed. Let's see if the receptionist can help us.
Can I help you?
Actually, I've already been here. I was just with Director Kido, remember?
Oh, of course. Did you forget something, sir?
Well, not exactly. I'd actually like to speak to Shono-san, the 89 researcher. Where would I be able to find him?
Let me see. That should be the research wing. I believe he's in the protein abnormalities lab.
Probably need a gold keycard to get in there, huh?
That's correct, sir. I should be able to lend you one with the director's approval, though. Just give me a moment to ask. Could you tell me your name, sir?
Actually, never mind. Kido-san seemed pretty busy earlier. I'll try back later.
Are you sure, sir?
Good call. There's no chance Kido-san would let us in.
At least now we know where Shono is.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a map around here somewhere.
Suspicious. What the? Suspicious. This leads to the research wing.
The receptionist said he would be in the protein abnormalities lab, right? Huh. Well, I guess that's not on this map.
The research wing. Should be able to find Shono here. Hey. The service entrance parking lot. All the delivery people come in and out through here. This is where Okubo's truck was parked 3 years ago. Suspicious. This goes over to the hospital. I think Waku-san was up on the 4th floor. Hey. What the? Director Kido's office. We were just in there. Uh-huh. This is where we are now, the ADDC lobby. This goes over to the hospital. I think Waku-san was up on the 4th floor. Uh-huh. Hey. Some kind of security gate, huh? The research wing must be just past there.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am?
This is one of Shono-san's researchers. She was just about to return to the lab.
Oh?
My name's Hashimoto. I can show you into Dr. Shono's lab if you'd like.
Are you sure?
Of course.
Great. We'll take you up on that.
Wonderful. Hashimoto-san just happened to be passing through.
Thank you.
Right this way.
I really appreciate this, Hashimoto-san. I'm Yagami.
And I'm Hoshino, from the Genda Law Office. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, don't mention it. I'm glad to help a guest of Director Kido's. This place is so massive, you practically need a tour guide to get around. I hope you're okay with walking.
Oh, that's totally... Oh.
So, Hashimoto-san, what kind of work do you yourself do here?
I'm part of the team developing 89. Dr. Shono is the head of that team, but I'm pretty new around here.
Speaking of, what exactly does AD9 stand for?
Well, the AD comes from the name of the center. The Advanced Drug Development Center, ADDC. And it's the 9th drug our department's developed.
Oh, that was surprisingly easy.
It'll be the first dementia-curing drug on the market, right? Seems like it's really getting fast-tracked because of that. But there's a lot riding on this one, right? It could finally cure Alzheimer's disease.
That's right. Do you know how many dementia patients there are in Japan alone?
A couple 100,000 at least. Maybe even in the millions?
Right. As of 2012, there were 4.62 million.
That many?
By 2025, that number will increase to at least 7 million. Potentially up to 13 million, including at-risk patients. That's 1 in every 9 people.
Yikes.
However, as a nation, we're already at capacity in caring for these patients. In many cases, people over 60 are stuck looking after their dementia-struck parents in their own homes. Worldwide, it's estimated there will be 135 million patients by the year 2050. It's staggering. In other words, AD9 could save the world. This could be a real miracle.
I gotta say, this is making me feel kinda bad about how we treated Kido-san back there.
Director Kido will go down in history if we achieve this.
A lot's changed in 3 years. The bastard's really made a name for himself.
Be nice.
Dr. Shono is right over there. Well, if you'll excuse me.
Shono-san.
Yagami-san? But, how did you get in here?
Hey, calm down. I just want to talk.
I can't do that. Kido-san doesn't know you're here. Does he?
Is there a problem?
Ichinose-san.
I've never heard you raise your voice, Shono-san.
Aren't you the guy from the lobby?
My name is Ichinose. I'm here from the Ministry of Health, offering political support to AD9's development.
Kido-san called you Vice Minister.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Pretty lofty for a Vice Minister. You can boss scientists around, but I'm not biting.
So I see.
Shono-san, please. I just need a few minutes to talk. We'll leave right after we're done, promise.
I already told you I can't. Not without Kido-san here.
I need you to tell me. Why did Shintani call you?
Shintani? I've never heard that name in my life.
This is important, Shono. You have to have some idea.
Please, I don't. Now get out of here. I'm calling Director Kido.
Do what you want. Just let me ask you one thing first. You seem awfully deferent towards Kido-san. I mean, you won't even talk to me if the guy's not here. So why are you so afraid of him?
Well, given how much tax money is going into the development of AD9, It's become quite a political matter. As such, the director is being extremely cautious about leaks.
But I'm not here to talk about 89. I need to know why Shintani called you.
And I already told you I don't know. Now please, let me get back to work.
What the? What are you doing here?
Kido-san.
I believe I told you to leave. What about that didn't you understand?
I wanted to ask about Shintani's call.
About which I already said Shono doesn't know anything.
And I needed to hear that from him, not you.
Enough. Call security.
We were just leaving. Come on, Hoshino-kun.
I'll be filing a complaint with the Bar Association, under the Minister's name.
The Minister? Of Health?
That's right. Minister Kazami expects great things from AD9, and he won't tolerate distractions from your ilk.
I feel like we came up empty-handed. Why would Shintani-sensei have called Shono-san? Yagami-san?
That wasn't the first time I've heard about Minister Kazami.
Huh?
When was it, though? Who was talking to me about the Ministry of Health? It must have been Ayabe, when we were drinking over at Tender. I definitely remember him mentioning Minister Kazami. We were talking about how the Kyorei clan ended up in Kamurocho. Apparently, they're being used as muscle for a construction company called the Kajihira Group. A while back, Chairman Kajihira himself was going around, laying the political groundwork for a Tokyo revamp project. And one of the people he met with was Naohisa Kazami from the Ministry of Health.
Huh.
You'd think he'd go to the Ministry of Land, though. His project has nothing to do with health. What would he gain from meeting Kazami?
That's true. Do you think it has to do with our case somehow?
I don't know. Depends on what the two of them are talking about.
In that case, maybe our Kajihira expert can help us out with that.
Who?
Sugiura-san. He used to work for them, remember?
Oh, yeah.
So, you want to know how Kajihira and Kazami are connected?
Yeah. Any way you can find that out?
Not really sure, but I'll give it a shot.
Thanks.
You're still at the ADDC, yeah? Just give me some time. I'll call you if I find anything.
Oh, Yagami-san. I'm gonna head back to the office. I just got an email from Saori-san. Apparently, a journalist named Hattori barged into the office. Says he wants to interview you.
Me?
It sounds like he's looking into Shintani-sensei's murder, too. Anyway, I'll go ahead and drive him off.
You'll be Genda-sensei's ace attorney before you know it.
Nah, I don't know if I'm ready for that. Honestly.
Why?
Too much responsibility for a guy my age, you know? I think I make a much better sidekick for now.
Okay. But when that gets old?
I don't know that it will. Being a professional sidekick for the rest of my life sounds okay to me. I'll see you later.
Hmm? Huh? Huh?
Yep.
Bring it on.
Really, guys?
Hmm? What's up?
Doc. Doc.
Huh?
Kaito!
Hmm? Hmm. Hmm?
Yo.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
カイト。相棒。
いらっしゃいませ。はい。
八神さん。八神さん。